Happy Friday. My name is David Quinones, and I'm a member of the Leadership Council here at BBC, and it is my privilege to share with you today's devotion from one of my favorite Bible passages, and that is from Luke chapter 15, verses 11 through 32, the parable of the Prodigal Father. Though many of us may also know this as the parable of the lost son, it is much more of a story about a father who lavishly gives of his possessions and his love to his sons, as we hear in today's verse from Luke 15, verse 20. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. Before exploring this verse, some context. Earlier in the story, we're told that the son had demanded his share of the inheritance. In essence, he was wishing for his father to already be dead. Later, we're told that the son had squandered his wealth in wild living and had reached such a level of despair that he was living among the pigs. He was feeding them and had actually desired to eat the same food that the pigs ate. This was significant at the time, as Jesus' audience would have known that the Old Testament law would have prohibited Jews to eat pig meat, for pigs were deemed as unclean. So, when the son repented by returning to his father, Jesus' audience would have seen and viewed the son as being both physically and spiritually unclean. In today's verse, Jesus provides a picture of Abba, God our Father. We see that the father patiently waited for his son, as we're told that the father saw his son from a long way off. The father was also so filled with compassion that there was no room for anger nor judgment in his heart. He simply ran to his son, which no respecting man during the time, which was a patriarchal society, would have considered doing. Jesus tells his audience that upon reaching him, the father embraced and kissed his unseen son, who had once wished him to be dead. In this one verse, Jesus describes God the Father as one full of love, grace, humility, patience, generosity, and forgiveness. And he provides a picture for how God responds to each one of us when we return to him. As a father of 2 adult children, oh, how I wish I had demonstrated these traits to them when they were growing up. Though I, and perhaps some of you who are also parents, wish I could have a redo. All of us, parents and non-parents alike, are to reflect these God-like traits to all those we interact with, including our family, our friends, strangers, and even our enemies. Imagine, how would our world look if we more consistently did? Perhaps it would look a little bit more like heaven.